I want to know what it is you are currently hearing from your contacts in Gaza, what this means for their patients, the injuries and illnesses they are seeing, the impact it is having on the healthcare system overall.
Thank you, Alicia, for having me. What I'm hearing is that the situation is much worse than last time we talked. It's beyond catastrophic. Everything is running out, including hope. Electricity, of course, diesel fuel that is necessary to operate generators in the hospital. That means hospitals can go back to the Middle Ages where you don't have access to ventilators or monitors or elevators or even IV pumps. Doctors have been rationing everything, including gauze, to stop the bleeding, and IV fluid and antibiotics. They're running out of space to put patients. Capacity now of hospitals are about 150%. That means every hospital is much more occupied than its capacity. And they're running out of space to place dead bodies in the morgues. And on top of that, you have shortage of food. Doctors and nurses have been telling me that they're eating only canned food. There is no access to clean water. The average Palestinian in Gaza right now has access to 3 liters of water instead of the 50 minimum that the World Health Organization recommends. And then we have this 20 trucks, which, as you mentioned, a trickle. It's a drop in the ocean. Before this war, every day, 450 to 600 trucks of food and water and medical supplies and diesel fuel were entering Gaza. Right now, we had only 20, which is less than 3% of the daily need in Gaza.
Something you said that really jumped out to me, Doctor, which is everything is running out, including hope. And I think about these medical professionals who are giving care in community when they're also experiencing grief and loss. Yes, they are administering physical care. They're also now in the position of being support, of having to administer emotional care. What is the toll that this is taking on the providers themselves?
It's immense. Dr. Hussam Abu Safiya, who's a pediatrician, works with our organizations in a small children's hospital in north of Gaza, told me that he cannot stop working because his community needs him at this point more than anything. He lost his house yesterday. He sent me a picture of his destroyed house. He's sleeping in the hospital with his family. He's lucky because he said that his family and himself are alive. But you can imagine the toll on doctors and nurses who are trying to take care of their community and children. I mean, most of the victims are children and women and elderly, 70% of the 4,000 or so, and 13,000 injured. And they don't have means to treat their patients, and they're not safe themselves. He cannot evacuate his hospital, even though that his hospital was instructed to evacuate, because there's no enough beds in the south. He has children in the ICU on ventilators. He has newborn and incubators. There's no cars to transport them to the south, and there are no beds in the south. So logistically, it's impossible to evacuate his hospital. But he had to stay there with them to be with them and to treat as many as he can with the limited resources.
Understanding, Doctor, that when we talk about the aid, we are talking about it in the larger context of what is unfolding. Help us understand, as we watch those trucks cross into the border, what is most needed, what is most helpful, what is it that you are watching for?
I think what's most needed is a continuation of the aid. 20 trucks is a cynical joke. Palestinians still have sense of humor. They told me this is a joke from the international community, but they need diesel fuel for electricity. These trucks did not have diesel fuel to transport also victims from a place to place, to evacuate. They need clean water, they need food because they're running out of bread, and people are fighting actually for bread. And also medical supplies and medications necessary for anesthesia. They were doing surgeries on their patients without anesthesia. Imagine yourself, a patient pulled from under the rubble, a child or a woman or elderly, and getting to the OR where the surgeon is doing surgery on you without anesthesia. They're running out of pain medications. They're running out of blood products. All of these are needed in much more massive way than it was entered. And it's frustrating, this slowness of the response of the international community. I think our government can help also on this and putting pressure on Egypt and the neighboring countries and sending maybe ship of medications and medical supplies, besides, of course, the ship that we had sent to support the war.